Hi everyone, Sumatsuki here with another Sue's Muse. And today my muse is the lovely, the talented Deborah Stone.
Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
I'm
Hi.
so happy to have you here. We have come so far over these past couple years getting to know each other on a whole other level, and I wanted to let other people know what a vivacious, wonderful, amazingly talented lady that you are. So I'm going to
Okay.
get right into talking to you about a little bit about your background. I
Okay.
know that you love folk music and you play guitar and you played restaurants, and then how did all this, and it was musical theater, you were a dancer. I have a fabulous picture I'm going to show you in a minute. But you
Okay.
were a dancer, so give us a little background of all the things that you are that brought you and how you transitioned into cabaret.
Okay. I was a ballet student from the time I was 8 at the Met Opera Ballet School, the old house on West 39th Street. I was in a lot of operas. That's something we have in common. Although I was a super and you were a star. Uh, anyway, I got used to being on stage, I guess, when I was in the operas on the Met stage. But I went from being a dancer, this is cutting to the chase. I was a dancer for many years and auditioning constantly and tried to work waiting tables, the whole 9 yards. And I did regional stuff and I was in local ballet companies and I was a ballet dancer and then I was a jazz dancer because it just fit so much better for me and I was able to get work. And I did showgirl stuff both here in New York and also in Dallas. And while I was doing that show, I wasn't really involved in musicals. It wasn't my thing. I might have done a couple, but it wasn't my thing. Oh, that was Lacage. That was in the bird costume. Oh boy.
Well, you
And that was,
mentioned Showgirl, and I happen to have this one in queue. I'm
well,
like,
that was not from being a showgirl. That was from La Cage aux Folles, the 1984 Los Angeles cast. And just so you know, it was after being a showgirl here in town for 3 months that I auditioned for the LA cast of La Cage, and I got cast as a swing performer. And this was my swing performer costume. Now,
wow.
Theone Aldridge did all the costumes, and this was just for a swing. So you can imagine the costumes for everybody were just phenomenal and gorgeous.
Could I
Uh,
have shown a Showgirl costume had you had one?
I do have some that you actually can. So next time maybe, but
Okay.
and there are those that you can because you know. Anyway, so I went from being a showgirl and dancing 3 shows and 2 shows a night, 6 nights a week for 3 months. So I was really ready when I auditioned for that open call of 300 dancers for the LA cast of La Cage. And I ended up, my life changed. I got cast. I ended up moving to California, got married, divorced, ended up staying out in California in the Bay Area for, God, 15 years. So I was in California 17 years. That's a whole other lifetime.
Mm.
Came home in 2002. But during that time, after the show, I became a teacher. I didn't know I could teach until I had to, and I discovered I was good at it. So I taught jazz dance, modern jazz, and I also taught ballet. And I taught a lot of fitness.
Mhm.
And again, I didn't realize I could do it until I had to do it. And boy, what a gift. I realized I was very good at it and I loved it and I was able to get it across. You know what I mean? And then I came home and I couldn't get any teaching jobs anywhere. So I kind of let that go by the wayside. Am I looking at you at the
Yeah,
camera?
yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm looking at that little dot there. And ended up living back here where I was born, here in the apartment with my mom for the last 8 years of her life. She died at the age of 100 in 2010, and I've been here ever since with my second husband. We got married in 2009. My cat is coming along, right? See,
I see. Hello, baby.
there we go. Anyway, so that's my story in a nutshell. Oh, as far as cabaret stuff, I did my first solo cabaret show 8 years ago. And I'm not going to say how old I was. I was older than a lot of people doing their first show. I had never done anything like it before. I did a lot of acting when I came home. And of course, I had the stage experience of being a performer. And also, I was singing a lot. I always sang, I always played the guitar since I was 13. So I had a lot of elements that came together to make me ready to do a solo show. I had no idea what I was doing. I was going, okay, who do I get to play? Who do I get to direct? Do you need a director? So I just sort of was this way, you know. But every time I learned. And I learned from watching people, watching you, meeting you. You were instrumental in my development and with your advice and with your affection, and your caring. It was huge. I remember driving in the car with you, I think up to Spark Hill, and you were giving me all this amazing advice about the business side and about what to focus on. And I was like, duh, wow. So you were instrumental in my development as a
Well, I
solo
love talent, Deborah. When I saw you in that first show, I was like, wow, this girl's something else. So
Well, thanks.
that's
And
to your
also you
credit.
you introduced me to Lena. You were the one who introduced me to Lena Katrakis, who is my director and will always be my director. So every time I've done something, I've said, okay, well, I have to be better. I have to learn from this. And it's given me the freedom to just branch out and do things that I love to do. And so that's really for somebody of a certain age, it's a wonderful gift to be able to explore and grow in a new way, a new world, so to speak.
Before I get on to the new show that you're in development of, you're in your living room in the house that you grew up in, after having come back from California to be with your mom until she passed. This time of year has got to be very nostalgic and walking around your apartment and feeling all the things from the past. How's that been for you?
Well, it's not this time of year specifically. Of course, we have memories. We were non-observant Jewish people, and we always had a tree. And my dad was always pissy about it because he said, "Well, you might as well have a picture of the Madonna on the mantle." He would say, but on the mantle, we had a menorah. So I mean, we were a mixed bag. We didn't have I don't have specific Christmas memories other than, oh, my sister and I had sister dresses, and there's a picture that's lost to eternity. I don't know where it is, of us in our little sister dresses with the Christmas tree and that sort of thing. My dad was a photographer, and when he died, when I was very young, nobody took any pictures anymore, so we don't have anything. But yes, it's a mixed blessing. It's a beautiful apartment, and I love it. But there are memories in every corner, and some of them are good, and some of them are sad. And so it's sometimes I say, "Gee, I wish I could just be someplace brand new." And just not have any memories in there and make new ones. But financially, that's not an option. And
Yeah.
also, it's a beautiful place. So,
Yeah, life here in New York City too. So I want to talk about you've got this new show that you're developing. It's going to be debuting at Green Room 42 on February 20th, and it's a
when
7 o'clock hit. Tickets are on sale, and below this interview, I'm going to have a direct link so you can go right there, click it on, and go get tickets.
thanks.
I'm going to be there. Join my table, please.
Thanks.
So enough for the commercial, but I want to talk about the fact that it's called String Theory, and you're working with three of the most talented gentlemen that I know, Tom Hubbard, Daryl Kojak, and Sean Harkness, each of whom has been and is musical director. So I'm curious, and you're a musician as well as just the chick singer with a bunch of guys behind you.
Right,
So
right.
I'm wondering how literally four musical directors of this higher level are getting along. What is your collaboration like on this project?
It is a joy. It was what I say. I say we met, we jammed, we collaborated. I had songs that I wanted to sing. I selected the people I wanted to play them with, and we just got together and started doing it. And they would come up with something. I'd say, "Yeah, good, that's good. Let's do that." Or I want to, let's try it this way. There was not one person instructing or telling us what to do. It was, and they really got a kick out of it. We would get together, we hug hello, and they would be groovy dudes with each other because they're musicians. And I don't know, I didn't feel separate. I felt like I was of the piece of I felt like I was able to contribute to the mix instead of, yep, there we are. Aren't they cool? My
And
guys.
Sean's wife took this picture, right?
Yes,
Boy,
Taka
she's a good
Harkness.
photographer.
Yeah, it was a wonderful shoot. I had over 300 pictures, and I'm going, well, really? Which one do I choose? But this was the winner.
And girl, look at your legs. My goodness, that's the showgirl dancer left over in you, girl.
Thank you. Yeah.
You
Lena
look
said,
fabulous.
Lena said, don't worry, you're not going to wear that on stage. It's just something for the shot. So she was right.
And you're playing guitar in the show, correct?
Yes, I play
Oh,
with, I think, three of the tunes, only three of the tunes, but still, it feels so good. I've never played with a band before. So it's really cool. Yeah,
well, you're in really good hands with them.
I
And
know.
there's no kind of like mega theme or anything, right?
No, no,
Yeah.
there is. So I kind of felt a little at sea because we're always told, well, why are you doing these songs in this order? And what does it mean? It's like, no, these were songs that I have never done
Mhm.
before with people that I adore, everything from Chaka Khan to Bonnie Raitt to Janet Jackson to Michael McDonald, Harold Arlen, Peggy Lee.
Wow, it's a real mixed bag, isn't it?
Runs the gamut, and also a song by Lena, and also a song by the wonderful and talented Tracy Stark. So just things that felt, and of course, having Lena at the helm, she put them in particular order and they totally make sense
Mhm.
and they feel really good. It's a combination of genres, broad combination of genres. And we've managed to stitch it together and the guys feel really good about it. So
And tell me
yes,
about the title. I mean, string theory, stringed instruments, get that,
yeah,
but
that's
I think
it.
it's kind of cool. It's a
Yeah.
nice other layer.
Well, the thing is, it's not even the name of the show, it's who we are. That's kind of who I named us. And originally it was going to be Deb Stone Strings Attached or something like that, but apparently that's been used before. So I was going, what should I do? What should I do? Okay, well, how about string theory? I mean, it's bizarre because it's quantum physics and it's got nothing to do with quantum physics. But we're all string instruments. I mean, the piano is a string
It is
instrument.
technically
It's
a stringed
also
instrument. Yeah, of
percussion.
course.
So I mean, it all worked out. Originally, it was just the three of us, just me and Tom and Sean, but we needed to bring Daryl in to sort of. There was that cabaret side of me that Lena didn't want me to lose track of, and to really give it, uh, to tie it up, we really needed that
And
piano
you
and
had
voice.
worked with Daryl before too, so that was kind of a
Yes,
no-brainer, right? Yeah.
yes, and it was so wonderful to work. It's so wonderful to work with him again.
He's a piece of bread. He's a doll.
Man, oh man, I had worked with Tom Hubbard on my previous show, but I had never worked with Sean. And actually, if I just real quick, the first time Sean and I got together, I mean, I can't even, we know how wonderful he is. And he's a groovy guy. We had chatted together on occasion, hey, how you doing? And talking. But I reached out to him. I said, I want to work on this one song. And it's one of the opening songs. And we couldn't get into the studio. I don't know if I told you this. We couldn't get to the studio because it was locked and he didn't have a key. The studio he used. So we jammed in the lobby of the building. First
Why
time we're
not?
together. We're in this lobby. It's a marble, small little lobby. Nobody's coming in and out. Where I'm going, hey, this sounds really good in here. So that's the first time we met. We were jamming in the lobby of a building together. So
So
it was
you were
fun.
in this year's cabaret convention. What was it like to walk out on Lincoln Center on that stage and look up? What was in your head at that moment before you started to sing?
Well, I tell you, okay, there's this walkway that's like almost like a airstrip. It's, and then it's this runway, and you go, and there are people in the sound thing, and then they open these doors and let you out. And I felt like royalty. I
Yeah.
felt amazing. And it wasn't like, oh, look at me. It was just this huge, expansive feeling of here we go,
Mm.
almost like a takeoff. And then I walked out, and I will never forget. I walked out, and I just walked, and I looked out at this multitude. Of course, you can't see everybody, but it's big, and I felt good. I felt good. I
You
felt,
sang like a dream and you looked like a million bucks.
thank you.
So it
I
was
felt,
really quite a night for us as well, for
yeah,
you, you know?
I felt grounded. I felt grounded, and I just did my job, and
Yeah.
I felt good about it. So yeah, thank you. It was
Well, thank you for sharing that with us. So many of us don't have that experience. It's kind of nice to know one of ours. Like that's why you had so many people there supporting you because we were really thrilled for you to have that moment
and
and
I'm
you killed
so
it.
so so grateful, really so grateful. So it was huge.
And closing down a little bit, I know you're a member of the Snarks and that you do theatrical things. You still keep your acting chops up. Tell me, you just did a big event at Cutting Room, right?
Yeah, that was with the Lambs.
Oh, that was the Lambs Club. Okay.
Yeah, I'm also the treasurer of the Lambs. I'm one of the officers, which is the oldest professional theatrical club in the country. It started in 1874. And it's recently has new leadership, and we've been moving forward with lots of new members. And we just celebrated our 150th year with what they call a gamble, Gambol. They used to have gambles in the old days at the Met Opera, at the fancy hotels, but there hasn't been a gamble since 1968, so it was pretty huge. And we booked the cutting room, and it was fabulous. It was fabulous.
Yeah, they treat you great there, don't they?
Yep.
Yep. So everyone, please join me on February 20th at Green Room 42 at 7 o'clock for what I know, what I promise you is going to be a spectacular show, not just
No
because I know
pressure.
her,
No
but
pressure.
everyone else on that bill. It's just, I just can't wait to see the four of you together to see what
Thank
you
you.
create together. So
Thank you.
congratulations on everything. I wish you all good things for the 2025 in your professional and personal life. And this is my muse for the day, Deborah Stone. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, we are Nightlife Exchange. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Now, all I have to do is figure out how to shut off the video. Hold on one second.